All right, guys. So for this week, we're going to leave the daily meditations out and we're going to focus on some fun facts. And we're going to talk about them a little bit and we're going to see what we can learn from them. So the first fact is David is mentioned 1,139 times in the Bible, and he is second only to Jesus. It does depend on your version. Some versions have David as more than Jesus, but we also have to take into account the references to Jesus. When we do, Jesus overtakes David. In general, the top 5 names are Jesus, David, Moses, Jacob, and Saul, King Saul, the king that ended up killing himself. So it's kind of interesting as to why he's there. The second fact is God himself buried Moses and no one knows where. That's in Deuteronomy chapter 34, verses 5 and 6. I think this really highlights the importance of Moses. In Exodus, we see that Moses leads the people out of Egypt. He then gets the 10 commandments, and then he gets the blueprints for the tabernacles. In Leviticus, he teaches the people how to be pure, and he also teaches them about some holidays that they need to celebrate. In Numbers, he leads the people through the desert for 40 years. And in Deuteronomy, he delivers his final sermon to the people, telling them to follow God's laws. Even though he was banned from the Promised Land, he still delivered his final sermon. And also, I think this could be used as an argument that the dead do not go to heaven, because why would God bury Moses if he was going to take him to heaven anyway? So the dead are dead and they know nothing. The third fun fact is Sarah is the most mentioned woman, 59 times, and Rachel is second, 47 times. So Sarah, the wife of Abraham, who is the father of faith. In most lessons, I think we focus too much on Abraham. I think we can assume that Sarah contributed a lot to Abraham's success as a man of God, so we should put some focus on her too. Rachel, who is the second most mentioned woman, she was also Jacob's second wife, but Jacob's favorite wife as well, his first wife being Leah. Now, if you remember, Jacob initially had children with Leah first, and then he had children with Rachel's servant, and then children with Leah's servant, and then finally he had children with Rachel, the love of his life. Out of that relationship came Joseph. Maybe that's why Joseph was the favorite son. Fun fact number 4, was the first person God killed for being wicked. That's in Genesis 38:7. I think this is why sometimes people argue that God was a short-tempered God in the Old Testament. He noticed someone wicked and killed him immediately. We're not really given details beyond that, so we can only ask how wicked was he exactly. And we can also say that the last time that God allowed for wicked people to live and thrive, he had to kill all of them with the flood. So maybe he did have a good reason for killing them. And fun fact number 5, Lamech was the first person recorded in the Bible to commit polygamy. Polygamy being having 2 wives. So Lamech came from the lineage of Cain. Cain was from the evil one, which we know is the devil. I think this was connected to Lamech's arrogance. In these days, wives were more perceived as helpers. So the fact that this guy thought that his life was more important, that he needed 2 helpers, really highlights his arrogance. So I think for this week, we're going to focus on these fun little facts. We're going to touch on them, and then we're going to kind of discuss about them briefly. If you guys have any questions about them, you can either leave a comment or you can just text me. Most of you guys have my phone number. So I'll have 5 more fun facts for you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.